You're right. There's a challenge for agents who do high volume when they're not the front of face at opens all the time, and then they're handling the negotiation at the end. How much difference does it make if the person handling the negotiation hasn't met the buyers who are looking to purchase the property? If you were a buyer and you met an agent throughout a campaign and then you decided you want to buy it, and it's not at auction, maybe it's a private treaty, but then you're sort of handed off to a more senior agent, how would you feel about that?
No, I'd be like, well, I'm talking, for example, I'm talking to Chris this whole time.
Yeah.
I built a relationship with him for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, how much of a relationship do you think buyers have with agents? That's the kind of thing, because buyers are like, back in London we used to ham at work buyers, you'd go out for coffees, you'd spend time with them, you'd spend all day with a bag of keys, you'd have that relationship. Over here, buyers don't talk, don't engage. Advice from some buyers agents I saw this week was don't communicate, don't give too much away. They're trying to fish for information.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know, weird, eh? So I'm trying to create these barriers in this business. But the agents who do high volume, who are in a listing presentation, pitching to Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, would say, look, I've got a big team, I've got a scale of a team, one handles this, they handle that. They all individually have a relationship with their buyers. But when it comes to the pointy end of this campaign, that's where I come in, that's where I'm going to handle the negotiation. But the other agent would argue that, yeah, you'd list with that agent, but you're not going to see him for 4 weeks, they'll just hand it off, they're just the face on the signboard, and they don't have any relationship with the buyers, and they're just going to be the guy who lists the property and passes it on to the team.
Yeah, that's how I'd feel. I'd want that one person throughout the whole process.
But it is the value to you in a great agent them writing down names and numbers and having a relationship with buyers, or handling the negotiation? That would be their argument.
Yeah.
I think there's a balance. I really used to love that, having a relationship with my buyers and trying to get information, have an understanding, know what buttons to press, be able to speak at their level, I can negotiate. But ultimately, maybe that dynamic's not there anymore. So what do I want from the best agent? I want them to run good marketing campaigns with a strong team around them that can facilitate a funnel effect that produces the best buyers and then gives them to me to negotiate for my own.
Yeah, you'd want to have like make sure your team is really good, so you can like get on top of it, and they're funneling back all the tidbits that may not be so important to some, but for example, just say it's Sally's first soccer game next week and you got that information on the first open.
Yeah, sweet.
Like, that's something that if someone remembered that from me, I'll be like, I'm selling with you.
That's the devil
remembered.
in the detail, and the margin of error in this gig is about remembering or knowing and capitalizing on that detail. And that is the finesse, the skill set. And a team is ultimately only as good as its weakest member. So if the team is good, excellent. Otherwise, just having a great agent with an assistant is a more personal approach. But I do think scale has its benefits.